Welcome back to Yellow Skunk Farms. Quick disclaimer, this is a 21-year-old and up channel, so if you're not 21, please leave the channel now. I appreciate it. You're looking at our construction zone, really. This is going to be our new food garden, our new food pond garden, so to speak. If you're new to the channel, this is our cannabis side. This is going to be our food side. We have our pond over here where our fish and our turtles reside. What's up, Cooter? That's Pooter, our goldfish. Cooter is our slider turtle, our Cooter slider. There's Plinko. And we have Scooter, which is our other slider turtle. You can see the difference. One's a peninsula Cooter and one is a river Cooter. Both sliders. See, our pond water is crystal clear this morning. Usually stays crystal clear. We were talking about this on Instagram. We have a one pump system. It pumps up water through the creek. The creek runs through the bed. The creek waters the bed as well. So all our plants, everything in this bed gets its water source from the creek. It is being wicked up out of the creek up into the soil areas. There is you can see a hill here. So I get a lot of questions about how I keep runoff from getting into the creek. Well, there's no runoff because there's a wall here. So the creek wall comes up, and we don't bring the soil all the way up. This is what sand, silt, and clay that the worms have turned into worm castings. So this here, this black gold here, you can see the sand and grit in it. That is the same stuff that was in the creek. So the sand, the silts, and the clays, all this here gathers up bacteria and biology. Then the worms can handle the creek water. Right, this is where they love to hang out, is on the creek edge, not in the water, but just outside of the water. And they will turn that sand and silt into worm castings, and the plants seem to really enjoy it. The plant roots can attach themselves to that creek wall. See if I can get down here with my new handheld thing here. You can see that it comes up and over. So we don't water really, and if I did water, it wouldn't be much. It'd just be a little bit, keep the top a little moist. But we're at day 28 of veg, and you can add, that's from the time I brought them in the pot. So we start them off like this. Okay. This is about the size they were when we brought them in here. So that's about 14 days, 12, 14 days in the pot. So we do 12 to 14 days in the pot. So I don't want transplant shock. So all I do is cut the bottom of that cow pot off and then stick it down in the ground. We did that with these, and then we left them in there and got them big, and then we just pull the cow pot off, put some IMO5 around it, and we're good to go. This is the nitrate pad, came out of the creek. This is just one way we remove fish poo and debris from the creek. The worms will come up and turn, all those little black dots you see, those are worm castings. And those worms will come up and run through this pad, cleaning it, turning everything into worm castings, and then dropping them back into the soil. So what I'll do is just take this and replace it back down here, right here at the entrance. And as the water flows, it will catch. We don't leave that in there too long because it slows the flow up. So I don't know if you can hear or not, but listen. That's out. You can hear it, and then I'm going to put it back. So that little bit of change makes a big difference. It will slow that water flow up, raising the creek up, wicks more water. And I know this because I can see it in my hole, my drain hole here. Right now, it has been completely dried up. There is no water down there anymore. Whereas when these plants were small, we're not wicking up a lot of water. That excess water goes through the soil down into my E horizon, and it's stored down on the bottom of the floor, basically my bedrock. Just like in nature, you know, if you were to build a house and you're wanting to tap into a well or drill a well, you're going to drill down until you tap in and you're going to pump water up. Same principle, except that water is being wicked up from the bottom, but it's also being wicked up onto the top. So we're keeping the top layer moist simply by allowing it to connect to the creek and wick the water up. Then we've got all this grass here, but you can see, look at the moisture. Just underneath, it stays wet. Aerated, wet, I mean, it's just very nice. It's just, the soil has turned into like this really good, bio-rich, nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense soil that is just, we don't have to do anything. I mean, we don't have to water, we don't have to feed. All I do is feed my fish and my turtles. All that excess waste comes up into the creek where it's wicked up. The roots tap in, all the grasses and everything just grab a hold of all this, along with us, you know, stewarding. So I'll just come in here every once in a while and just pull some of this algae out, just to keep it from getting overburdened, you know. We do have to steward. But the nice part is that we don't have to worry about water. So all this right here is algae, waste, basically food is all it is for microorganisms. It's for the worms, so we just bring this, set it over here, and it will not last a day. The worms will come up, run through that algae. It's super easy for them to run through. And they will release all that bacteria, really. A lot of bacteria in the soil, where the worms can eat the bacteria and release whatever the bacteria was eating back to the plant. You know, the old poop loop. This plant here is going to take over the whole side over here. I think I'm going to remove this big old leaf, honking leaf down here. You see it right there? Ain't much left of it. Damn, it's hard. I took some fingers off of it. See, you won't much left. We've been taking fingers. Boy, that thing smells good. It's got a berry, a funky, I don't know, it's just funk. Definitely got some OG going in there. The funk is definitely with this one more than the others. That one over there has got some funk too. All I'm going to do is chop this up right here. Always chop and drop just about everything. I will never lay a leaf like so. This one down here, you can see it's not getting much. Let me just pull this off. Now I would never do this and just lay it there. What happens when you start stacking leaves is you'll start stacking moisture in between these leaves, and you have a better chance of going anaerobic by packing these on top of one another. The worms and critters cannot break this down as fast, okay? But if I was to chew my food, rather than just swallow it whole, bacteria and the critters can break this down a lot faster, super fast. And this is why we break it up. We chew our food before we swallow. Makes it easier to digest into the soil. And that's why I treat my soil. I treat my soil like my stomach. It's literally what runs everything up here. So we keep this soil healthy, everything else will be healthy. And a lot of that comes down to feeding the soil, feeding the microbiology, but also it needs that moisture. So we're going to go ahead and take the other side too. I know I said one a day, but damn, those things are hard. Look at that leaf. That's a monster. Just hanging out down below, not getting really any light. So now that we removed that, these lowers, hopefully this lower here will come on up a little bit better. But we are going to probably take some cuts of this one. So we can move this. Sorry about my camera work there. Just kind of move this over a little bit. Kind of work it. Move this over here. Just trying to get some more light flow to these lowers. Spread them out a little bit. This plant doesn't really need much help. It has spread itself out quite nicely. We're going to take this big finger here, just because it's taking up too much of my light over here on this side. Take this little one, yeah. Boom. It's good to go for another couple days. Man, it smells good. It's got a funky berry going on. I don't know if it's this is a raspberry deadhead. It's raspberry OG from Luna Whitcomb. Beautiful plant. I know the camera really doesn't do it much justice, but it's a wide plant, short, stocky, very nice. Got good genetics for sure. And that's another raspberry deadhead, lunar cheese, Orangeline from OK Calyx. This one's been struggling a little bit. Didn't have much luck this go around with the feminized seeds. I always have really good luck with regular seeds, but everything else, for some reason, like feminized stuff, non-organic, stuff that's been bred in salts, so to speak, non-organic, do not do well in this system. Like the biology and the microbes in this system are off the chain. So when a non-biological, how should I say, seed comes in here, it doesn't seem to do well. And I'm assuming that's just because of, it's not organic, it's not used to the microorganisms. That's just a guess. This thing here is getting crazy. This one stayed really nice and short, stocky. We're going to go ahead and take this finger, just open it up a little bit. I like taking fingers just because it doesn't take the whole leaf. It still allows the solar panel, but it will seal off that and use the rest. Kind of like you get a cut on your finger. You don't have to lose the finger. Like if a doctor came to me and said, you want me to take your finger or your whole arm? I mean, I don't need to take your arm, but that's kind of what you're doing when you pluck a whole leaf off. You only need to take the finger, but you're taking the whole arm. And there's no reason to take the whole arm, because that is a solar panel. But I do want to thin this out. I want to thin them out. So I'm just kind of like thinning out with the fingers instead of the leaf. If that makes any sense. Like this here. Instead of taking that whole leaf, I'll just take that finger. That allows that to open up, but it still keep my arm. And that's that. So I appreciate everybody hanging out today. I hope everybody has a great, what's today? Tuesday. I think today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Day 28 of veg. And hopefully we get sex testing back on these outdoors today or tomorrow. They really need to go outside. And with that being said, I hope everybody has a great one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.